welcome. All right, roll call please.
Mr. Moran?
Here.
Mr. Blanton?
Here.
Mr. Robinson?
Here.
All right, we'll go straight to the administrator's report. Mr. Brett?
I just wanted to make you aware of a couple items. We've been having some complaints from the neighbor who owns the apartment building next to our town hall about people from Tram parking in their or in their driveway, blocking the parking, and also leaving food out at night. Varmints are getting into the food, they're also getting into their garbage cans. So I've talked with them, and it probably is time to, I didn't know if any of you had a good relationship with them and would want to talk to them before we send them a nice letter saying, hey, you gotta keep your people from doing this.
Would be the one.
Right.
Dennis George is the one.
Dennis George is the one that has.
I talked to Dennis, but not about that, but their tram is gonna use the big part of the building to get some stuff in. They have kids from the school coming down to help. And, I talked to Dennis, told him we would always make sure that he didn't have anything going on before we let him use the parking lot for school buses and things, so.
I know Kevin very well, and he's involved in that.
Yeah, I hate to,
Quite a bit.
I don't wanna come off
Sure.
wrong, but, you know, we do owe the neighbor, you know.
And we still should do a letter if you talk to him, and then, do we have signs? I know we got the sign up way back. Do we have a sign in the front?
We do,
We do.
at the street, yes.
Okay, all right.
And she said that the people walked over and the folks, and it's the volunteers running it, it's not necessarily the people, it's the people they have there, just, they don't care. So we just gotta get their attention, I think. So I just wanted to make you all aware of that. Also wanted to make you aware that Kim has finished the recycling, the RRI information for 2024, so we did good on that. We'll be getting that money in.
Good,
So,
good. Do we know
in
how
the-
much?
It's usually about $5 grand.
Yeah, that's about what it was last year.
That's usually about what we get back.
Okay.
Yeah, and the first item under old business, probably could have gone under my, report. The fire levy information has been down to the Board of Elections. They have it, they're reviewing it. Haven't heard anything back other than they've received it, but, that's all done. I just want to let you guys know that. And that's all I have.
Okay, sounds good. All right, are we dealing with this Motorola?
Motorola radio replacements. These are, Chief, are these in the truck units or the handhelds? I've forgotten.
These are the portables, handhelds.
Portable, so we've already bought the ones for the trucks. This is an unfunded mandate. Our old radios are gonna be obsolete October.
I think it's July.
July.
Is when that process starts,
Yeah,
through the end of the year.
yeah, a year ago, I thought maybe the state would push that back, but it looks like they're not doing that, so, we need to get these ordered before everybody's trying to order them in May, and they run out.
Mr. Fuller?
Yeah, I mean, this is fairly new information here to me. How many radios is this in total?
So this is they purchased before, I don't know, a year or so ago, the first half, this is the second half of the radios that I guess was slated to be, it was actually budgeted last year, but we just didn't move on it. And then March is the 5% increase, so I think it was always slated to do it in two separate waves, and this is the second half of it.
Okay, and
These mandates, I guess, the old radios are not gonna work, is what you're saying?
Right.
At that point.
This has the link layer and encryption stuff that the other radios just you can't put in there.
how many have we purchased so far?
To include the portable, I don't have that.
Well, that's fine, Chief.
I might.
So we purchased half and this is the second half?
Yes.
Okay, and we're on table with this be by what, October, did I hear that right?
Yeah, there's a price increase in March first of 5% of what the cost is on there, which is why I asked Jim to maybe try and get it, sooner than later, but, I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to do it.
Okay. So we'll say 5% if we approve and purchase before March first, that's what you're telling me?
Yeah.
And if, when we order these, what's the timeline to get them? Do you know?
4 to 6 months.
All right, any more discussion?
Well, and Mr. Brett is saying that, I guess if we wait till May, June, July, or when everybody else is right up against the deadline, that there's some concern about whether there'd be even, they'd be available, is that correct?
That's my concern, you know, in talking with the sales rep from Motorola, when Whitewater was looking at them, you know, we didn't have the money to buy them. We actually, Whitewater Township had to finance them. We just financed $116,000 worth. So, and then that was it was cheaper to save the 5% that pays the interest for the first year on that loan. I mean, it's just, you know, the cost increase, I guess everybody should expect everything's gonna go up, but I didn't think it was gonna happen this fast.
Okay. Does this price reflect the 5% discount or not?
It reflects the current price, so it doesn't reflect the increase. So yes, this is 5%. If we waited till next month to do this, it'd be 5% more.
Okay, that's my question. Okay.
And I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
and Ms. Oster, we have,
Yeah.
this is all
Tim,
good, and this
did
is.
you already, you had that in your
It
budget,
was-
yeah.
It's in our budget.
That was in the
It's
budget,
budget.
yeah.
It's in our budget.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good.
I don't think we were planning on doing it, but I mean, it was this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was this year, so we're just a few months ahead of schedule, and we know we'll get them in time before October, so our residents will be, and our fire department will be prepared
Correct.
for the
Motorola has promised that if we get this in before March, that we'll have everything done and programmed before that, change in that firmware thing from
Okay.
the state comes down to the mark system.
And it takes them 30 to 40 days by the time they get these in, after they get them, to reprogram them for our use. I mean, it's not like it shows up and they can just give them to us and we can use them.
Okay, and it's projected in the budget, I know we said that, I just wanna get
Yes.
that clear.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Morath?
All right, I will make a motion to move forward with the, Motorola radios, cost $117,483.48.
I'm second.
Okay, Mr. Walrath?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
All right, we'll deal with old business, all right, new business, Mr. Brad?
So we have as you know, we were looking at the expansion of West Park. And in that expansion plan right now, we have a national fitness campaign outdoor fitness court worked into that. This is a resolution to proceed with the grant process with them. In order to get the grant, we have to approve this resolution. So it says that they will give us $30,000 towards the total cost, which is the maximum that we can.
Go ahead.
So we have until April to do this. I just didn't want it to be something that sneaks up on you.
Okay,
So if you'd like to table it, we can. If you wanted to act on it now, we could. But this does not commit us to that fitness court. We can always back out.
right.
So up to you.
But
when
if
you
we
want to do
move
it.
forward with it, we are committed to receiving our $30,000 grant, correct?
When we move forward with it, they will guarantee the grant towards the
Right.
cost of.
Right, and that's why we were passing the resolution.
Yeah.
All right, we got to April, we'll table it.
All right.
Are you okay with that? All right, we'll table it. All right, we'll move along to, new business B.
So we're tabling that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so resolution 2025-05 is, let me get to that so I can resolution declaring 8537 Bridgetown Road, Miami Township, Hamilton County, Ohio, a nuisance for high grass, vegetation, junk, garbage, refuge, and other debris. That's also known as parcel ID number 570-0141-0035-00, better known to the folks who've been coming to the meetings here as the property with the camper that is a mess on Bridgetown Road. We had given them an extension on their last cleanup order. Mr. Lindenschmidt is here if you have any questions for him. We'd given them an extension through Friday. They've made some promises, and I'm sure the chief will tell you when you do fire inspections, and Ed will tell you when you do property inspections, people promise you the world, but they don't always follow through on that. So the proposal is we pass this. If you go to the very last paragraph of this.
I don't think I have it, unless it's attached to this. Oh, yeah, I do have it.
So section 5 says this resolution shall take effect and be enforced effective Saturday, February 8th, 2025, and after the earliest period allowable by law. We did that because our extension that we gave them because of the bad weather was through Friday. So we don't want to go back on our word, but we also are skeptical that we're going to get the results that we were promised. So if they show progress by Friday, then Ed will work with them.
Correct.
If they don't show progress, then we'll proceed with this, and this is the start of the process of us cleaning it up and putting it on their tax bill. So.
Okay, any discussion?
I've driven by a couple times, and then Mr. Brett has driven by a couple times. Mr. Lindenschmidt has personally gone on the property at least twice and attempted to make contact. I think that this is the prudent approach. Again, we need to send a message that we take these things seriously, but also honor the agreed upon extension through Friday. So I would ask the board that we, if there's any, well, I'll wait until if there's any discussions. But otherwise, if not, I will make a motion that we pass resolution number 2025-05.
All right, before you second, I want to say something. So, we've been looking at this for, I know, at least a year and a half. So the 7th is going to be the date, Friday. I just want to make that clear on the record. There'll be no more extensions given, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, Mr. Forrest, you have anything?
I have nothing, I will second the motion.
All right.
Mr. Allred?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, public comments. Anyone who would like to address the board, you're welcome to come on up and state your name and your business, and we'll be glad to answer questions if we can. Yeah, Mr. Moreland?
Hi, my name's Mr. Barry Moreline, 5612 Gum Run Road. I'm addressing to Jim Brett and the trustees. What is the current update on the Jordan Road water line installation?
We actually, the design engineer, J.S. Held, and I rode and walked that proposed water line yesterday. There'll be a few changes based on what we saw in getting in and out of the right of way. So we're trying to stay out of the roadway as much as we can. But a lot of the water line is going to end up in the roadway because of the topography and the hillside. So Mr. Abercrombie said that he thought he would have that changed by probably tomorrow. So it'll be able to go to the county for their review. I haven't set it up yet, but I'll be talking with Justin Habig, Cleese, and Eric Winhusen. We'd invited them to go to that, and Eric asked if we could do it earlier in the day. We were unable to reschedule it. So I'll probably end up and do the same walk with him with the new layout. The only place that really is going to be an issue is on the East Miami River Road side. The small culvert that, right now, the water line, it runs through the Backshire property and, is actually exposed in the creek. We've got to figure out how we're gonna get under or across that at that location. And, you know, Eric Winhusen has, I don't know, 50 years of experience, so I want to ask him his opinion, and before we go talk to a specialty engineer on how to do that, and we're going to talk with Hamilton County. I didn't realize that Steve Mary, who did the bridges for Hamilton County forever, now works for the state, but that's really the only problem area that we saw. Everything else should be fairly easy, and we should be able to get this out to bid within a month and a half.
So, being realistic, do you think that water main will be placed in Jordan Road by the end of 2025?
I would realistically say before fall of 2025.
Okay, and how many lineal feet are you installing on Jordan Road from East Miami River?
I do not know that number off the top of my head, but I can show you the plans.
Yeah, it's on the plans, and I can't remember exact feet wise either. I know it's 1,000 and something.
So the one other thing that I'm gonna ask the trustees is I believe it's 8740 is where we were planning to stop.
Okay.
And I wanna make sure that's where the county gave us permission to go to.
Okay.
I wanna make sure that that's where we really wanna stop while we're doing this. And, we also talked about if we wanna look at the other end and see if Cincinnati Water Works wants to come down to catch some homes on the other end.
And then is it appropriate to switch gears and ask another question?
Sure.
I hear a lot of rumors, and I don't know what's truth and what's not, with the village of Addiston. Is the village, or the city of Cincinnati thinking about taking them over?
There's two things to that. I went down to the council meeting, the other night. And the residents, just for information only, just to sit in the audience and observe. The majority of the residents, and I can't quote the ORC on that, but the annexation can take place if the council votes on it and wants to annex with the city. But the ultimate goal, or the ultimate deciding factor, is the residents and the vote. Also, council can dissolve, their vote to dissolve, put it on the ballot, and that's up to the residents also. And by the ORC, if it's dissolved, then Miami Township will absorb it. Now, the majority of the people in that meeting was in favor of trying to prolong the village as long as they can, which they should. And then they were also in favor of, if that's not acceptable in the future, no one put a timeline on it. But I would think in the next couple of years that the majority of the people down there were in favor of dissolving and keeping their identity as Addiston, but being absorbed by Miami Township. Do you have anything differently that you want to add to that?
No, other than it's a complicated process for them to dissolve. There's two different ways they can dissolve. They can vote to dissolve themselves, or if they just run out of money, the state can come in and declare them insolvent, and the state would dissolve them. And then, just in a nutshell, the county commissioners would appoint a 3-person board of trustees, which I believe is a member of the county commission, the county auditor, and the county treasurer. They would be voting members of the board that would dissolve and dispose of the Addiston property and take care of the payments that they owe. The township would get 1 non-voting representative to that board, and we would have to be very aggressive with that because there's a lot of things that we would need to have happen if we end up doing that. And one of the residents asked the other night if we could pre-plan for that, and we're gonna have to plan for that and be ready for that if it happens. So again, and I said it the other night there, you know, we'll do what we can to help them remain a village, that's the goal. We don't wanna see them lose their identity, but if they're gonna become part of Miami Township, we're not gonna be caught off guard and be surprised, we're gonna be prepared for it.
So currently, our fire and EMS is serving them, correct?
Till the end of March.
To the end of March,
They
this
have an
March.
Extension, they have a fire and EMS extension.
And if
Queens,
they
Madison,
don't-
and North Bend, they all have it till March 31st.
So if they wouldn't agree to that, who puts their fires out?
I don't know. Not
Because
everyone- I
isn't
don't
there a
think
law,
anybody
wouldn't there
else.
be a law that someone has to respond, just like the police or the sheriff's?
It's not the same.
It's not the same?
That's my understanding. And Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, though.
My understanding is the
ORC
village is responsible for providing fire protection.
Fire and EMS service to residents. Cleves, Addison, and North Bend are responsible under the same ORC, that's correct, right?
For fire, it's my understanding that nobody's required to provide EMS service, and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I think that's how the ORC states, is it's fire protection.
Just fire, okay, that's my fault then, so it's just fire.
And then one other question is, I've also heard, and I don't, it's probably could be rumor, but since we're here, we'll discuss it. Is it in consideration that Miami Township is gonna build a new firehouse and close the Mount Depot Road firehouse? Is that,
Not to my knowledge.
so that could all be, that's why I'm here asking. If I heard that, and I thought,
That
You
sounds
would've
like,
heard it in the meeting, you come to every meeting.
right. Well, I didn't hear it in the meeting. I thought it was a rumor.
that sounds like something you heard, you may hear something like that on Facebook, but don't believe.
I don't have Facebook.
Good.
I don't believe it.
So come here and ask us questions,
Right.
That's what I was.
and we will tell you.
All right, okay,
If we-
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Morrow. All right, anybody else would like to address the board? You're welcome to come up. All right, executive session, I'm gonna make a motion to go into an executive session.
Can we just do quick updates from the board?
Oh,
before we-
sorry, yeah, go ahead.
And then before we
Yeah,
go in,
before we
so,
go in, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just wanna, make sure that, I think that, we talked about this the last meeting, but I think that we should try to set dates for, ambassador meeting, public, town hall, so I think we agreed on 2. If we have maybe one in an weeknight evening and then one on a weekend, morning, I think we did that the last time. I don't know if the board has any input or suggestions or thoughts on that, but, if so, then, before the next meeting, we can hopefully set those dates and get that out, on social media and on our website. Does that sound acceptable?
So do we want to have a meeting before March 31st, or do we wanna just make sure we have the 2 meetings before the election primary?
I think as long as it's before the May primary is my, and
Trying to find.
if it's after March 31st, hopefully we can give good news to the residents, but, we might have a little more clarity on things.
Well, we could go to the beginning of April, unless, whatever you guys
But,
think.
you know,
Beginning of
if you guys
April,
think,
the end of
March,
April,
whatever, but yeah.
Or
Yeah.
March, whatever you guys think. What do you think?
I think the more the better. I think we do a minimum of 2.
And we can always add, especially if we get good turnout.
You wanna have one in the middle of March and then one in the middle of April? Something like that?
Good for,
What do you think?
Well, regardless of what you do, one of the things that I had hoped to do when I got here was to just have township talk with your administrator. So I will pick a date for the end of February, and I will start doing that monthly. And depending on Cindy's schedule, I'd like to advertise a couple of those that she can come in, that we can, talk about finances, not just fire department, but finances in general, like we did last time. And other than that, I just want to invite people in if they just have questions about the township. And just sometime, other than a public meeting where they may not some people don't like to stand up in front of crowds.
We need to put that in our newsletter, so if we're doing.
Yeah, once we get all our dates, yeah,
It'll
We need
be,
to get both these dates in the newsletter.
on the website.
and
everything.
mine'll be on the website and on
And then
social
put it on
media.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Can I suggest you also use the senior center for a day?
That's a good idea. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
we
always
do
go
that.
down there.
Because those guys will probably do the information.
Yeah, we can have one of our meetings
Some
down there.
idea, maybe we can do one here and one down there, so.
Oh, and Bass.
We don't have to
meeting
set
down
the
there.
dates now,
Okay.
but we can plan, I mean, how, middle of March, middle of April.
Yeah, so we'll finalize those
That'll
and
get
get
us
that out. and-
time to get that out. right?
Yes, absolutely. And then the only other thing, unfortunately, we did have to cancel, our big band, evening night, concert this Saturday. We're still having issues with credit card, being able to accept credit cards, and we need to finalize that. Jim or Cindy, whoever's doing that, we're gonna reschedule that. I think that with timing and everything else, it was kind of rushed a little bit, so, talked to Carrie and we're gonna push that out. Those are just the two things that I wanted to mention.
Okay, Mr. Borat. All right, Ms. Ozier?
No, but let me know, let's get together with some dates and.
yeah.
I do like that idea that maybe, that we would not just meet here, could meet senior center.
I would actually-
Or maybe that's in addition to, maybe that's even.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kinda like, no, I like that.
I was gonna actually try to kind of move it around, maybe
Even
go
the town
down
hall,
to,
the town hall.
yeah, go down to the town hall, you know, go down to Java Jackets, just, yeah, maybe.
Talking about you and Cindy.
Yeah.
Or just me for Township Talk,
Right.
and Cindy and I for, you know, Township Finance Talk.
Right.
Yeah. We just, whatever I can do to get people to feel open and come and just, you know, ask questions.
Sure.
Like I say, a lot of people don't like to stand in front of a crowd and ask,
Or come to the, right.
or can't come to one of our meetings because of work.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I don't,
All right, we will, I'll make a motion for executive session. Conferences with the public body's attorney concerning pending or imminent court action by Division G3 of Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Court action is pending if the suit has been commenced. Court action is imminent if it is on the point of happening or impending. Also, in executive session, we're also going to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing by the division of G1 of Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. And I'll make that a motion.
And if I can just, during discussion, just mention one thing. For those of you who are wondering why you don't see Alex Ewing, our attorney, here for this conference, he is sick, so he is gonna be joining us via phone so that he doesn't spread the sickness through us, so.
thank God.
Yeah, I told him I thought that was a very good idea.
I will second.
Mr. Valria?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
3:40.